Alright, so in today's video, the topic is stepovers. This is probably the move that I have used more often than any other move. My favorite players growing up were Ronaldinho and Zinedine Zidane. And then later, Cristiano Ronaldo came up. So I was born and raised with the stepover. With the stepover, it's a relatively simple move. Of course, once you get used to it, I'm just going to go into the specifics for anyone who has problems executing it because of particular foot movement that you need in order to execute it. Now, one of the things about a stepover is there's levels to it. There's levels to stepovers, and man, I didn't plan to do this initially, but I'm gonna get deep into it. So first off, there's the technical part of doing the stepover, as far as the steps you have to take, as far as the body movement. A lot of people, when they do stepovers, they just use their lower body. They don't even use their upper body. Your upper body is a lot of the times is what's going to beat the defender when you're going at full speed. So if you use your lower body and your upper body, then that's when you're going to get the full effect of the stepover, because most people don't know how to do a stepover correctly. And then of course there's the timing. There's the timing between where the defender is and when you do the stepover. And this, guys, can only be done through practice. You gotta go one-on-one, whether it's one-on-one with a player or in a game. You have to practice. There's no shortcuts. You can watch all the videos you want all day long. You can go outside, do it by yourself. But if you haven't been in game situations or one-on-one situations where you get a feel of when the right timing is to use a stepover, you'll never be good at it. So there's practicing a stepover by yourself, but then there's the application part. You gotta try it and try it and try it. And when you really get good, you'll get to the point where you can do stepovers, and in the middle of you doing stepovers, you plan to go one way, but then your body fakes another way, and it's really complicated. But that's the other thing, is the distance. And then another part of stepovers is knowing where to do the stepover. So if you're with a defender, you don't want to do a stepover and put yourself in a bad position. So sometimes people that don't know how to dribble, you'll do a stepover and you'll beat the guy, but then you'll put yourself in a worse situation. So you gotta look at where your teammates are, where the space is, where the defenders are, and realize, do I do one stepover here? Is it better for me to do two stepovers? Generally, you don't. I rarely do three. Three is when the defender's like not really getting faked. But then again, there's a part of doing stepovers to where you get so good at stepovers, you're not even conscious of the fact of whether you should do 1, 2, or 3. You just do it. But like I said, there's a place as far as knowing where to do stepovers on the field, and a lot of that has to do with you knowing your surroundings and knowing, is this the best move to get me out of this situation or to put me in a more dangerous situation. So as far as the technical aspect, to get more clear in it, I'll do some really slow dribbling examples. So as you see, I'm keeping the ball close as I'm dribbling. Then before I even do the stepover with the leg that I want to do it in, I take a step with the opposite foot, and then that's gonna help me get my balance in order to do the first stepover. Because like I said, the stepover is about using your body. There's levels to it. So if you want to use your legs as well as your upper body, you dribble. With the leg that doesn't do the stepover, you step to the side, and then you do the step over with your other leg, and then you push it with the original leg that first stepped out. All right, so that's very, very important. And then of course there's you can do 2 step overs. Every time I do a step over, the leg that does not do the step over is the one that takes the first step out, and then I do a step over with the other leg and then push it out with the opposite leg. And that's and guys, you got to pay attention to the upper body. You don't have to use the upper body, but when I do step overs, ideally I like to use my upper body. So try to use your upper body if you can, especially when you're doing 1 or 2. When you're doing 3, it's a little bit harder because you can't go left, right, left, right, left. I mean, you could, but it just takes too long. So when you're doing 1 or 2, try to use your body. You don't always have to, but if you want to put more of an effect into it, use your upper body. Concentrate on your upper body when you do the movement. And then, as I said, the timing, guys, you just have to practice for the timing against defenders to know how to do it. And then, like I said, the third aspect is about, and guys, going back to the timing, is just pure practice. Get a partner one-on-one, go in the games one-on-one, whether it's a game with some low-level players in your area or high-level. Just practice. That's it. There's no secret. It's just experimentation. That's it. And then the third level is knowing where to do it, knowing when to do it, knowing times you're going to do it and it's going to put you in a bad position, not just doing it for the sake of doing it, knowing where on the field to where it's more ideal to you it and do it and more useful. And this is just understanding of the game. You just got to have an understanding of the game. Your decision making has to be good, and it's having an awareness of where space is, where the goal is, where the defenders are, and where your teammates are. Because whenever you have a defender, you could do a step over and then you go right into your teammate, which is unnecessary, or you do a step over, you put yourself in an even more dangerous position because you're putting yourself where there's more defenders to defend against you. So you got to be careful. You got to always be looking. And then there's certain parts of the field where step over really isn't necessary. When you get to the higher levels, you don't need to be doing step overs in that area. All right. So these are a more detailed aspect of it where I'm not just showing how to do it. But I am trying to explain also the other parts of doing moves. It's just not the move itself. Anyways, if there is anything that is not clear in this video, just let me know and I will be happy to make an edited version of this so that it's even more clear and in more detail.